Something I've preached against for quite a long time are pre-farms and pre-mines. I have had Bram Cohen on this channel previously. I think that he's a really interesting guy. He's very hard to communicate with. I think that he has an interesting personality that can be, rub people the wrong way a lot. I think that everyone has good intentions, but they make bad decisions. I'll say that before we get into this. This topic's kind of weird. So at the very beginning of Chia, my biggest problem with Chia at the end of the day is that you basically have VC backing to a certain extent, and you have these pre-farms that are going to funding developers. Now, a lot of people say, well, developers got to eat and all that sort of stuff too. Sure, but if you're a developer of a project and you believe in that project, there are a couple different ways that you could go about that. One, hopefully you're going to be mining it yourself, or in this case, farming it yourself for Chia, and therefore you probably would have the biggest bag as it is, right? Or a decently large bag. And so that would push you as a developer to basically build the project to bring the value of your particular bag up, right? That's probably the best way to do it. I mean, that is, at least from an ethical standpoint, it's unquestionably the best. You hop in, you release it fair launch, you do it with everybody else, and so on. The second way is like community funding, where essentially other holders of your coin basically put it into a community fund for the developers to utilize. And that is, basically off of the charity of the community, which is a little less reliable, but, like in the case of Veriscoin, has proven to be extremely successful. And the final way is that you say, I'm just going to take a bunch of the coin and have that for myself at the very beginning, and then let everybody else farm it out. And as those things unlock, like we see with Alephium here recently, that can have the potential to drive the price up or down. I think the issue that's been going on with Chia, as I understand it, just to be clear, is that they have started selling off some of their pre-farm. Now, it's somewhere between 1% and 2% per month. I think total is still under 5% of the total supply, if I understand correctly, not of the pre-farm itself. And that is being done to fund the project, which means obviously pay for the developers and so on to continue to develop. Now, this has caused a dip in the price of Chia, I think by about 20%. It did go down below that, even lower than that, but did recover a little bit. And there's been a lot of kind of talk surrounding it, where I'm getting a lot of messages within Twitter. I did say that this would end up happening, which it isn't anything special. I didn't call out something that was like, oh, so like a big revelation. It's like, if you have a pre-farm, the intention is to sell it. Now, I think at the beginning, the problem was what Chia had said, or what the foundation had said. I shouldn't say Chia, CNI, which is separate, right? I guess, but Chia is the token or the project, and then XCH the token, and then CNI, the company behind Chia. Anyways, at the end of the day, I'd said they would sell it. The problem is at the beginning, it was stated that there could be securities concerns. Basically, if you have this type of pre-farm that's going to a corporation, then you are basically creating a security issue and securities issue. At the end of the day, now they're kind of backpedaling on that and saying, what they said, let me be clear, is that because they weren't selling it, it wasn't a security. But now that they're selling it, people are saying, well, it's a security now. And they're saying, no, it's not a security, contradicting their original statement that because they weren't selling it, it wasn't a security. There we go. Here's what I find with a lot of developers and a lot of companies like this, is that they like to gaslight you and make you feel stupid when you call them out for something they said in the very first place. And it's extremely frustrating to the community. And I think that that is what they're experiencing. And we're seeing a lot of these communication breakdowns from a lot of different projects. We've seen it with Radiant. We're seeing it with Chia. We see it on and on and on and on. And this is just humans, I think, at the end of the day, which is going to bring me back to the final thing, of course, here, which is like, even though we have a centralization problem with the mining hardware surrounding Bitcoin, the reason Bitcoin is what it is because we don't have that human problem. So if you're a Bitcoin maximalist, I think that's the strongest foundational argument that you can have, is that, like, look, we aren't going to have all of these issues because we just don't have the people problem to the extent that other ones do. And when you talk about Chia in particular, they have a huge people problem because they have an entire company behind it. And I think that that is a little concerning, and I still think it's a concern surrounding Chia personally. Now, Hunting Ground posted that XCH farmers have to stay strong in the altcoin winter. These are challenging times, of course, with negative price action, pre-farm sales, and pre-IPO silence. There are also reasons to remain optimistic. He says CNI are continuing to execute according to the roadmap, and they have strong legal opinion that selling the pre-farm is legal non-security and doesn't affect the farm coin or secondary sales regardless. Now, I think it affects the secondary sales, because if you affect price by selling and driving it down, I think you would affect that. But, and then in addition to that, I haven't seen any actual legal representation that has stated it's a non-security, just assumptions from the founders, right? Goes on to say that CNI are progressing positively with IPO process and the SEC, and are now waiting for the right timing in the market. CNI have paying customers and are just supplementing with XCH sales. In the meantime, CNI will continue to use their resources available, including the pre-farm, to fund operations and have a long runway available. He says he was initially hoping that we would see some positive price action within 3 to 5 years of mainnet, and now the time horizon has lengthened to 7 to 10 years. He'll keep farming on existing equipment in the meantime. I think that it has been confirmed that the pre-farm is being sold and not loaned, I believe, at this point, in case you guys were worried about that. And then if you are wanting to, let me go get this up for you guys here real quick. If you're wanting to see what the pre-farm sales are looking like, let me get this up for you guys. And I am going to have them on the channel here soon, which will be perfect. Let me see if I can find this. Digital Spaceport who is a big Chia guy. I recommend you guys go watch him if you want to set up farming, had tweeted at me the pre-farm. Here it is. Yeah. So I'll link this to you guys as well. Boom. I think it's on the XCH Ninja. Bam. And I think these are the markers. Yeah, the pre-farm sell markers. So you can see where they're being sold and how much has been sold. So if you want to go track that, make sure that you are tracking it. They are selling off, I think, some pretty big chunks. 1 million to 2 million at a time. So with a total of 18 million. Out of the $386 million US dollar value of the pre-farm. That's a lot of funding.
Now, you guys mined during the bear market. You made it through. Well, at least maybe a half of you. I know a lot of you motherfuckers over here didn't actually do it, but the ones that did, I have a new shirt for you guys, and it says, I mined with the bears for the bear market, okay? So if you mined with the bears and you want to rep that you did mine during the bear market, go ahead and head on over to shop.sonofatech.com. And the listing will be down below. I'll put it in live chat right now. I have a sweatshirt. There's a sticker if you'd rather have a sticker, t-shirt, premium shirt, all that cool stuff. Really like the new shirt. I ordered a few for myself, and I just had that design finished this week. Eventually it'll be on the YouTube channel, but that takes a little bit of time, so just give it some time. Proceeds, of course, go to supporting me in the channel, so there you go. And I thought we put some work into it, and I thought you guys might enjoy it.